And a very good day everyone. So today we will learn 5 types of VLOOKUP, or should I say lookup or matching data. When we talk about VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, we do match data. It either from matching a data from two different tables or matching a data from another table, another location, another file or another sheet. But what if just say we want to do a VLOOKUP and this time it involves two different columns? What if just say we want to do a VLOOKUP on a reverse side? Normally VLOOKUP, it appears on the right hand side. But what if just say we want to do reverse VLOOKUP for two different columns, VLOOKUP for two different answers? So in this video, we will learn 5 types of matching data. As you can see over here, if you notice there is two different database over here, two different tables over here. The first table is inventory items where we have SKU, brand, price, cost and margin. Meanwhile, in the second table, we do have the sales transaction where we have the date, the SKU, brand and the units. So now I just want to fill the price of the products over here. So normally what some interns or some fresh will do is, fresh graduates, they will try to copy this and then they will put it one by one. So if just see we have orange over here, we just copy this and put it one by one. The thing is, when you do one by one, it will take some time and it is actually time consuming. So we can actually use VLOOKUP and also XLOOKUP to do the matching. So let's get started. As you can see over here, in this we do have two different tables. So now the first thing is we will use VLOOKUP to do the automate matching. So I put here equal VLOOKUP. So V stands for vertical lookup. So what we are doing is we are matching these two different tables, matching vertically. So the lookup value, as you can refer over here, we do have two different database. So if you look carefully in these two different database, we notice that this database have SKU and brand. This database also have SKU and brand. So basically what we do is we use the similar column which is available in these two different database. So if you want to use SKU, you have to use SKU. If just say you want to use brand, you can actually use brand. You can either use either of the column. So now I'm going to use SKU. So I'm going to use from a lookup value from this particular table. And then what I do is I will highlight the entire table. As you can see over here, there's an argument called table array. What is table array? Table array means this is the table that we want to match. So I'm going to highlight this table and then I locked it and then I press comma, and then next thing is they will ask me, since I have highlighted the table, they will ask me which column I want to choose. So if you want to know, I want to use the match price data. So what I do is I choose price, which is on the third column. So I choose column number 3 because if you look carefully, we have column number 1, column number 2 and column number 3. So this is column number 3. And then what I do is I choose false or I press 0 and then I close bracket, enter. So basically once I double click this, you will notice that I've already automated my work. So the next thing is, what if just say I use XLOOKUP? Is XLOOKUP faster than the VLOOKUP? Okay, so let us try again. So now I'm going to put price over here and this time I use XLOOKUP. So I put here equal XLOOKUP. So like I told you, you can either choose SKU or brand. But if just say you want to choose brand, so you select the brand, but make sure this lookup array, you select this particular area. So you select this area, you press F4 or lock it, and then return array is I want to know the price. So I just highlight this, F4 and close bracket. So just like this, I just press double click and there you go. So basically XLOOKUP is more faster than the VLOOKUP because in VLOOKUP you need to know the table array. So once you highlighted your big table, you need to determine which column. Is it the first column, second column or 50th column or 20th column? So you need to determine the column. And once you determine the column, then you put false. But in XLOOKUP, it's very fast and it's very furious, whereby you just highlight the lookup value, lookup array and also the return array. In this particular case, we are going to use XLOOKUP for two different variables. So for example over here, we notice that we have the location, the football club and the respective years. So now if just say I use a normal VLOOKUP, for example equal VLOOKUP and then this is the lookup value and then the table array, I highlight all this, I press F4, locked it and just say I want to choose column number 3. Column number 3, 0 and close bracket. So we notice that we don't get the value of Fulham. Instead, we get the value of Arsenal because VLOOKUP always matches the first data. So now in this context, what if just say we do have two different variables? For example, over here, I have Manchester and Manchester United. So if just say I want two variables, so how this XLOOKUP can match two different variables at the same go? So let's get started. So what I do is I press equal XLOOKUP. So if you remember just now I thought XLOOKUP, we start with the lookup value. So I just click this London and I press Fulham. So London and Fulham together, and then I press comma. So if you notice, this London belongs to this area. So I'm going to select this and I press F4 and then I press N again because I already selected Fulham. So now I need to select this again. I highlight this, F4, okay, and then press comma. So now I just want to select the return array. So I just select this and I highlight down, F4 and close bracket. So what you can learn from here is G6 refers to London, H6 refers to Fulham. So I put London and Fulham together and then followed by comma. And then if you notice over here, I highlight the two arrays together. That means I start with the location and with the team array, and then after that I press comma, return array. Then I press enter. So now you notice it is the same value of 13665. So now if just say I drag down, so we'll have 8841 for Manchester United. So let me try again. If just say I want London for West Ham United, so I just click this. So let me double click, and yep. So now if just say I press Ctrl D, so we notice that it will match the two variables. So if just say you are looking forward to match two variables, you can use the XLOOKUP formula, whereby the first thing is the lookup value, you highlight this, followed by N and highlighting the second value. Then you press comma, first lookup array, second lookup array, and then you press comma, you will have the return array. So now return array, depending on which array you want to choose. So now let's look at the third example. So now if just say I want to use VLOOKUP or maybe XLOOKUP. Okay, if just say I use XLOOKUP. So now the lookup value, like I told, we choose from the same table and we choose the lookup value. And then the lookup array, we just highlight all this. So this is the lookup array. And then the return array, we just highlight all this. And then what we do is we press close bracket. So now you notice that it's not available. So let us try again. Basically what we want to understand is we want to match the data. So if just say a student got 85, we want to match good. And if just say the student got 92, we want to match excellent. So can VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP help us? So let's check it out. So now I use VLOOKUP. So if just say I use VLOOKUP, lookup value, this is the particular value that I want to choose because this is the data that I want to find and this is from the same table. And then table array, I highlight all this, I press F4 and then I press the second column. Why I press second column? Because in this particular table, we do have column 1 and column 2. So I'm going to choose the second column and just say I press 0 or I press false. So and I press close bracket, it will show not available, not applicable. So if just say instead of 0, I put true, which is approximate match. So when I put true or 1 and I close bracket, so now you have the information. So if just say I double click this, we can actually understand the student performance. So if just say I amend over here, just say I put here 27, it will be reflected automatically. And if just say I want to change here to 56, it will change automatically. So how to do it again? So what we do is equal VLOOKUP. Lookup value is the value that we want to find. Table array, we highlight the entire table, we lock it. Second thing is we do column index. What is the column index? Column index is in this particular table array, which column that we want to refer? We want to refer to the second column. So I put column number 2, I put 1. Why 1? Because 1 is true or approximate match. That means it will match us to the nearest data. So I press here close, I press here enter, and then when I just press double click, so now you'll get the data. So this is, so if just say you have a range of data, this is when you use the VLOOKUP true formula. Let's look at level number 4. So now if just say I want to look up for more than one answers. So if you look over here, let us start with a simple example. We do have Arsenal, Chelsea, Arsenal. So here, if just say I write here Arsenal and also Chelsea, and I want to do the normal VLOOKUP or the XLOOKUP. So I put here VLOOKUP, and then I put this is the lookup value, and I'm going to highlight this. This is the table array, and I just choose column number 2 and I choose false and I close the bracket. It will choose the first data only. So what if just say I want the 100 and 300 appear together? For example, over here, if just say I put here equal, let us try XLOOKUP. So I press XLOOKUP, I put this as the lookup value, and then the lookup array, what I do is I just highlight all this, and then return array, I just highlight all this and close bracket. So now it shows me 100 only. But what if just say I want the 100 and 300 appear together? Well, in this case, we don't use VLOOKUP. Instead, we use text join and also if formula. Okay, so let's check it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write equal text join. So this is the text join, and then what I'm going to choose is I'm going to put the delimiter. So delimiter is I want it to be separated by a comma. So I put here apostrophe, comma, apostrophe, and then I press comma. So now it will give us two arguments, either true or false. So I want to ignore empty cells. So I just put true. So I put here, and then what is the text? So text, I'm going to use the if formula. So if, okay, so I'm going to highlight this. If all this particular data, I press locked, equal to this particular information, I press comma, then all these must appear. Otherwise, apostrophe, close bracket, close bracket. So basically, the formula is text join. What text join do is, it combines the data. It combines the information. So it combines and put the separator as the comma. And then we will ignore the empty cells. And then what we do is, we use if formula. If just say this data here is equals to Arsenal, then it will show the particular information. Otherwise, it will be empty or blank. So now I press enter. So you have 100 and 300 together. So once I drag this down, you only show 200. Okay, so now let us see in this particular example. In here we have employee grade. Here we have employee name. So now the thing is, in TM1, I want these particular names to appear. For SM1, I want this particular name to appear. And for manager 1, I want these particular names to appear. So how I'm going to use? I'm not going to use VLOOKUP. I'm not going to use XLOOKUP. I'm going to use text join if formula. So let me zoom this so that all of us can see how we can do it together. Okay, so let us see. All right, there you go. So what I'm going to do is equal text join. Okay, I'm going to select this, and then the delimiter is what is the separator. So I'm going to put your apostrophe, comma, and then I'm going to press comma again, and this time I'm going to press true. Okay, I'm going to press your true, and then comma. This time I'm going to use if formula. So if this particular data, I'm going to select this. If this data is equals to this information over here, then I'm going to select all these particular names. Otherwise, it will be blank. Okay, if you look carefully, if this information is equals to this information, then this name will appear. Otherwise, it will not appear. So I press close bracket again and then press enter. So now we have all the names. So let me expand this. So let me zoom it out so that if you want to see whether it's correct or wrong. So we have John Doe up to Karen Brown. So let me drop down this. So now we see we do have Jane Smith until, let us check, until William Kim. So let me check it again. So will it appear? So we have William Kim. And then for manager 1, I have Susan Lee up to Laura Hernandez. So let me check. So Laura Hernandez. So this is where we use the text join and if formula. If just say we want to look up for more than one answers. So now let us look at level 5. So what if just say I want to do a reverse VLOOKUP. Now we do have this particular information over here, and I want to do a reverse VLOOKUP. So normally VLOOKUP, if just say I have this data, I can do VLOOKUP for the invoice, XLOOKUP for the quantity. But what if just say I want to do a reverse data? That means I want to put here equal VLOOKUP, and then if just say I select these two data, and maybe I just select the first data, and then I press 0, I close bracket. But if you notice, we don't get the answer because VLOOKUP starts from the first column. But what if just say I want to do from the right hand side? So how I can do it? So this time we are not going to use VLOOKUP. We are going to use the index match formula. So let's get started. Equal index. So the array means just like VLOOKUP has the table array, XLOOKUP has the lookup array and return array. So array means the area that we want to find. So this is the area that we want to find, and then I press here F4, and then what I do is I put here match, and then the lookup value is I just select this. Okay, this is the lookup value. Lookup array, I just select this array, and then what I do is I press 0, close bracket, there you go. So now we notice that invoice 1 is 3 series. So just say I just press double click over here. So for invoice 4 it is 7 series, invoice 15 is M5, and invoice 12 is Z4. So this is how we can do the reverse VLOOKUP. So let me repeat it again. So first thing is equal index. Okay, what is the array? Array means the area that we want to find. So I'm going to select this, but make sure you log so that we have the consistent reading, the proper correct reading, and then we do match. Once we do match, lookup value is the value that we want to find. So this is the lookup value, and then lookup array, this is the lookup array, F4, comma, 0, close bracket. So now you will get the correct answers accordingly.